Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Football is back. Bournemouth versus Everton. How are we feeling about just football returning?
Could have done another 6 weeks without it. Yeah, it's an away game. I think we're all right away. I think this is a tough place for us. We've got an absolutely awful record there. I think we've took 1 point in the league since they come up. We had that FA Cup win there. Everything else has been quite depressing, hasn't it? So it will be a tough game, but they've only, in the grand scheme of things, they've won one more game than Everton this season, and we have to remember. And we are a better team away from Goodison than we are at Goodison. So we'll go into this one. Hopefully, we've had a break. Hopefully, the bit of Portuguese sun has picked them up a little bit, and we can plot our road to survival over these next 10 games. Again.
Yeah, not a place that has great memories, even when you think when we were 3-2 up there with a last minute goal and then still managed to not win the game many moons ago under Roberto Martinez. No, it's just one of those places, and obviously we went there last season in a week, 2 games in the space of a week, which probably in hindsight should have seen the end of Frank Lampard at the time with that nice World Cup break, but obviously it didn't, and maybe if it did, the club could be in a completely different place right now. Maybe if people had been a little bit more proactive, but it should have been the big warning. But we have played in this season already. Comfortable win against them. When I remember, on the day, I honestly thought Bournemouth were destined for relegation when watching them. But fair play to them. They stuck with the manager, and his fundamentals have come through, and they look at half decent side now. They're no danger of being relegated, obviously. And after coming up, after a couple of seasons, that's all you can ask, isn't it? You can get to this stage of the season and be in no danger. That's a fantastic position to be. So it's going to be tough, but Everton have to dig in and find something that hasn't been there for a while, because with this and Newcastle coming up ahead of the game against Burnley, there's no more sort of hard luck stories now. It has to be getting down to business and churning wins out, because that's where we've put ourselves.
Yeah, this is it. That's where we are. We've got 10 games to go, and the games are running out, and obviously there could be another points deduction to come, who knows, and who knows the size of that. So Everton have got to start doing themselves some favours and keep saying it. The 6 points that we've had taken, of course, would have made our position a bit better, but we're still in this dogfight because we haven't won a game for 4 months, and therefore we've got to start. We're capable of going and getting results. We've got results this season. We've won 8 games, so it's in there to do it. They just got to drag it out. And listen, Bournemouth, I watched Bournemouth against Luton the other weekend. They were dreadful in the first half, and Luton were 3-0 up, and then they just came out. The manager just threw caution to the wind. They came out in the attack, but Luton still had opportunities to kill the game off, and eventually Bournemouth, brilliant, came back and won 4-3, and I think we were all relieved that they come back and won 4-3. But the frailties were there for everybody to see. It's whether Everton can exploit them, and that's we need a Brighton performance that we had last season, don't we? We need just that away game where we go and everything clicks into place, and it gives you that boost. And listen, Bournemouth are conceding, I think it's 1.86 goals per game. They're giving goals up, they're giving chances up. Everton's issue with that is Everton aren't scoring goals, and they've got to everyone's got to get the shooting boots on now, and it starts now. And if Everton can get 4 wins in the last 10 games, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, certainly their last couple of home games, obviously being 2-0 down to Sheffield United, and getting it back, and then obviously being 3-0 down to Luton, and then getting it back to 4-3. It's obviously showed frailties are there defensively. Certainly 2 teams who are below us in the table as it stands, obviously. And if Everton can get ourselves into that position of getting a couple of goals, wow. But if we can get ourselves into that position, we've got I think we've got enough then, you'd like to think, defensively, to see it through, whereas obviously Sheffield United and Luton a little bit more frailer, because he will give us opportunities, but as we all know, it's about the opportunities that we haven't taken this season, and the manager again can chat about XG and it's all going to plan. We're just not putting the ball in the back of the net. Well, that has to reverse itself pretty quickly, because you can't hang your hat on that for the whole season, going, well, we're all fine, we just can't put the ball in the back of the net. The game is about putting the ball in the back of the net, no matter how you do it. That's how the game is won. And again, we have to. There has to be a reaction to the last couple of games, and the reaction to having time off and being away in Portugal, and seeing maybe that there is a freshness and there is a slight change of, I'm not sure whether it would be formation or attitude or whatever it is, but just some tangible change that tells everyone that we're going in the right direction. And that has to start Saturday by putting the ball in the back of the net.
It's got to, and things have got to change, and capable of doing it. We stepped it up towards the end of last season, and we've done enough, and we need to do that again. And we have players that can score goals. We know we have. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's massively underperforming. He just needs to get, if he can get himself a couple of goals. Beto, can he get himself a couple of goals? Dwight McNeil had a good goal scoring season last season, not being quite at it this season. We know that there's a lot of other stuff gone on, which is probably has hindered his performances, but he's got a goal in him. Jack Harrison, I think, can get more goals than he has. So there is goals in the side. They've got to start producing. Decore, we know that he's our top goal scorer, but we need more from him. We need him to start contributing now, because we are at that end of the season where every goal's vital. And you're right, I think if we can get in front, we are better defensively than Luton. We are better defensively than Sheffield United and teams like that. We could give Bournemouth a problem. Got to get into that position. That's been Everton's problem, is getting into the position to win games of football and then being able to close it out. We led at Brighton in the 95th minute and conceded a late goal because we didn't stop a cross and things like that. Those little details have to be, right now for us, they have to be perfect, because we've thrown some points away this season that we shouldn't have done, and it puts us in this position now where you're looking at, this is a team that will be 4 points ahead of us without the points deduction. So to gain that, you should absolutely be looking and going, we need to go here and win.
Yeah.
Whereas I know the way it is, it's the 10 points ahead of us, but that's just with the deduction. So we have to look at it, like you said, it's not Manchester City we're going to, it's Bournemouth.
Yeah.
As good a side as Iriola's got them playing, I think they've still only won 2 of the last 10 matches. So, we know it'll be tough. It's a tough place to go for us. We've wilted there on many occasions. We've got to go and stand up and be counted on Saturday, and that's the management team, and that's those players who ultimately are responsible for where we are.
Yeah, and their home form is only actually marginally better than ours. And that's the difference between the two teams on paper, before obviously taking points away, is those points that they've won at home. I think we've got identical away records. So there's not much difference between the teams, but it sometimes shows you, doesn't it? Like, perception is so key to things. Bournemouth are having a great season, or people say they're having a great season, and obviously we're having a terrible season, but there isn't actually that much between us in reality. And they're a team that have had a goal scorer this season, and obviously we haven't. And again, that's another big thing, isn't it? Let's just have a look at Dominic Solanke's stats for the season. 15 goals out of 28 games, XG is 16.1, assists 3, and an XA of 1.58, and obviously big red mark there in the middle of the goal. But he shows the absolute opposite of us, isn't he? He shows that right there. XG is 16.1 and he's got 15 goals. I mean, that just shows you he's clinical.
He's had a great season.
But that's the difference, isn't it? You just think, where would Everton be if they did have a goal scorer with all Yeah, we can sit here and talk about the style or whatever, or the game, how long we haven't won a game, but maybe if Dominic Calvert-Lewin was doing what Dominic Solanke was doing this season, then we would be absolutely nowhere near the relegation zone, and that can be it, can't it, sometimes?
Well, that's the message the manager's conveying, isn't it? The problem with that is, if we had Dominic Solanke or Dominic Calvert-Lewin was putting the ball in the net like that, or Beto, Everton wouldn't be in trouble. And it's up to the management team to solve that, though, because they're not doing that.
Absolutely.
So you can't, like saying if we had Haaland, we'd be fine. Of course we would. But we haven't got him, so we've got to look at other ways now. Do I expect more from Calvert-Lewin? 100% I do. He's got 3 goals. I don't think he scored for 5 months. That's unacceptable. You know, and we have to call it. As fans, we can't let our standards drop. And hopefully Dom has got a huge part to play in these last 10 games, the same as Beto. Go out and turn in the performances we know that are there. Get some goals and get us key goals, because it's what Solanke's done at times. He's got key goals for Bournemouth that have turned games in their favour. And that's what we need. And we need it from everybody needs to step up. And if we do that, then we'll be okay. But this, like I said, it'll be a tough game, but it's certainly a game that Everton can win.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the stat pack for the game.
This Saturday at 3 o'clock, Bournemouth take on Everton in the Premier League. Bournemouth and Everton have met 13 times in the Premier League, a total of 5 wins going to Bournemouth, 6 wins to the Toffees and 2 draws between the two sides. The 2 meetings in 2023 both took place at Goodison Park, a 1-0 win at Goodison Park last season to keep the Toffees in the Premier League, and a 3-0 win in the reverse fixture at Goodison Park this season. Although the last time Everton played Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium, it finished 3-0 to Bournemouth. The season so far, Bournemouth sit 13th, they've won 9 games, drawn 8 and lost 11. Everton sit 16th after a 6-point deduction, they've won 8 games, drawn 7 and lost 13. On the goal scorer charts, Dominic Solanke sits top with 15 goals this season. Abdoulaye Doucouré is Everton's top scorer with only 6 goals. In the assist, Dwight McNeil tops the chart between the two teams with 5 assists. Ryan Christie and Tavernier follow behind with 4 each.
So there you go. Doucouré's top goal scorer is devastating, isn't
And has
it?
he not scored a goal, has he, since Newcastle, was it? Newcastle, wasn't it, when he wrapped in, or was it Chelsea?
No, he didn't score.
No, it was Newcastle, wasn't it? He wrapped it in, he hasn't, I don't think he's scored since then, has he? No. So that, and he was the top scorer. He had 6 then, early December, and we're in the end of March, and he's still our top scorer. That says it all, doesn't it? Dom, not a goal for 5 months. You know, these are the things that you have to work on, and you have to. But also within that, you would think that will change. No guarantees, but as a centre forward,
there are no guarantees.
No, there aren't. But as a striker, you would be thinking, it's coming. Got to get myself in the right positions. I haven't scored for that long. It only takes 1 to go in, and I'm up and running again. And that's how we have to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a little look at Bournemouth's side from their last game.
You know, Neto and goal. Adam Smith, Mathew, Zaboreni and Iwatara playing left back on that, which looks a bit mad. Lewis Cook, Ryan Christie, the midfield with Alex Scott, who's excellent. And they've got Semenyo and Sinisterra, who are quick on either wing, and obviously Dominic Solanke through the middle. Alex Scott's been really impressive since moving from Bristol City, wasn't he? Iwatara, who was a winger, playing left back in that game. But
and Ryan Christie's got a lot of praise this season for the work he does in there as well.
So 4 assists as well, I think. So yeah, they're a good footballing side, but like I said, it's not Manchester City, and we have to go and have a go because they are safe, like you said, they're comfortable. We aren't, and we do need the points more than they do. We have to battle and scrap for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at the Everton team that played Manchester United. Can you see many changes from that side?
I don't know whether Seamus may come back in. He may not, because it's an away game, and he might choose to leave Ben Godfrey in at right back for this, and maybe have Seamus in mind for Burnley. You know, he could go defensive for both games. I guess the question is, Idrissa Gana Gueye's back. What does he do with that? And obviously, we've got the thing with Beto or Dom. Personally, I think I'd stick with Beto right now. And then think about Dom maybe for Newcastle on Tuesday, something like that. And just have to use them that way. I mean, I personally I'd have changed the formation by now and got the two of them in there because we just don't score goals, but I don't think that's going to happen. But it'll be a flip of a coin with that. I think we might need Dom's hold-up play more at St James's Park where they do fly at you. Yeah. And I think Beto might be able to get amongst these and rough them up a bit for an hour and see how it goes. But it's the right-back one, really, isn't it? Does he just leave Godfrey and go, we're away, and they've got pace down the wings and he'll stick with them? Or does he go, actually, I want us to be on the ball a bit more and use Seamus Coleman? I imagine he'll go with Godfrey, but I don't know. Can you see many changes to that?
I'm not telling you. I've got another show for that.
Oh, you have, yeah.
I've got another show for that. There you go. Tough game, always a tough game for us going down to the Vitality Stadium. And we'll see what happens on Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Are you worried, or do you fancy us to turn that corner and get a win? Finally, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already for more great videos, exclusive daily live videos. Join us over on Toffee TV Premier, where you'll get no ads on any of the videos or the podcast as well. Link is in the description and the QR codes come on the screen now. See you later.